After completing a project, if you want to conduct a presentation to a client, you have two options. You can either use a still image or you can use an animation. But if you use a still image, you have to provide a number of stills from various angles to give a better understanding of the project. An animation is more powerful than a still image because an animation is made up of a number of stills called frames. So instead of providing a number of stills from various angles, you need to provide only a single short movie of the animation to the client. But generally we have to make use of a professional software such as 3ds Max, Lumion, Rhino, etc. to create a high quality animation. And the entire process of creating such an animation is time consuming and tedious. So in this video, I'm going to introduce a tool that is available right within AutoCAD, using which you can create a convincing animation. All these things and more is coming up, so it's around the subject. So I'll change the visual style to wireframe. I'll switch over to the top view. Now I'm supposed to specify the information about the camera and the target. Both these objects can be either fixed at a point or it can be moving along a path. Now I want my target to be located at a particular point and it is fixed, and I want the camera to move around a circular path. So I'll create a circle with the center radius option and I'll pick the center point somewhere over here. Now I'm asked to specify the radius. I'll give 3000. Next I'll switch over to southwest isometric view. Now I'm going to give a command with which I can create the animation. The command is anyPath. But before giving anyPath command, I would like to move this circular path straight up through a distance of 300 centimeter because I want my camera to be slightly elevated from the XY plane. So I'll click on move command, select the circular path, this is a base point, keep the cursor in the positive Z axis direction, then I'll type 300. Next I'll give anyPath command. Now I'm asked to define the camera as well as the target. The camera can be a point or it can move along a path. In this case, I want the camera to move along the circular path, and the target can also be a point and it can also move along a path. In this case, I want the target to be at a point. So first of all, I'll define the camera. Click on select object option here and select the camera. Now it will ask you for a path name. The default path name is path1. I'll choose that. Now click on point below the target because I want the target to be at a point. Select object. Now I want the target to be exactly at the center of the circular camera path. So shift and right click to get the OSnap menu and choose center and left click on the circle. Target name you can specify. I'll choose the default name as point1. Next I can preview the animation. I'll click on preview and you can see that it is pretty fast because here the duration is very less. So you close this window. I'll change the duration from 1 second to 30 seconds. And when you change the duration to 30 seconds, here the number of frame changes to 900 and the frame rate is 30. That is number of frame per second. Now I'll change the display resolution to 800 by 600. So that will be relatively larger window and you can preview it. Okay, if you get a smaller window, you can always expand to enlarge it. Now it is pretty smooth animation because I have increased the duration of animation. You can see the representation of camera and it is moving along the circular path. And you can see that it is facing the target which is fixed at the center of the circle. You can just close it. You can save it in any desired file format. You have AVI, MPEG, WMV. AVI is Microsoft standard which stands for Audio Video Interleave. MPEG is another movie standard which is a compressed format. MPEG stands for Motion Picture Expert Group. WMV is Windows Media Video. I'll choose AVI, which is a very well-known format, which is a Microsoft standard. And I'll change the resolution still higher to 1024 by 768. And corner deceleration is turned on to get a more smoother animation. I can also change the visual style to any desired style. It can be hidden, realistic, or shaded with edges. I'll choose shaded with the edges option and I'll give OK to render it. Now it'll ask you for a file name. I'll call it as house animation. and you will get the animation preview, and the visual style of preview can also be changed on the fly. I'll click on shaded with edges option and you can see that here, and that will affect only the preview. But in the final movie we have chosen shaded with edges as the visual style. AutoCAD is creating the animation by rendering individual frames. Now it has completed rendering. Let's open the file on the desktop and check it. This is a house animation.avi file. I'll select, right click, I'll open it with VLC media player, or you can use any movie player. Now this animation is very smooth, and you will also get ample time to explain the various details about this project to the client. In fact, this is just a plain model. I haven't specified any materials. But if you want, you can specify materials in AutoCAD and you can choose the visual style as realistic to make the presentation more realistic. So the main advantage of this procedure is that the entire process of creating an animation can be done within AutoCAD and you don't need any other software for that. And it can be done very fast. It's a matter of few seconds.